All right. Well, welcome everybody. It is 2024. This is our first Trader Talk session of the year. So, um, this weekly trading call is now 4 years old. I need to check my notes and figure out when the original start date was, but I'd imagine this is episode number 200 something. So, yeah. Yeah. And then there's a new AI summary thing that I'm trying on Zoom. I think you guys might have seen a notification. If it's super creepy, I'll turn it off. But we do know that Zoom records everything, despite what their TOS agreement says, or sorry, their TNA. But that's okay. Okay, all good. Let's see who else we got here. Okay, that's it. All right, so cool. So of course, Happy New Year's, everybody. Um, Welcome to today's session. Let's go to our quick overview. Um, let's see. We got a couple announcements for you guys. Shout out to Wani for getting us Mr. Jay Soloff to speak at this month's monthly SVOG meeting coming up. We have lots of idiots of the week and good trading examples. We got Jim Cramer chiming in saying there's no recession. And we'll take a look at that. We have cargo ships on fire, uh, just enjoying the benefits of lithium batteries. And at least they're surrounded by water, so it's relatively contained. So all kinds of good stuff. We'll look at the market overview in just a bit and look at all the indexes. We'll look at American Association of Individual Investors sentiment data. And looks like I misspelled sentiment. And we'll look at the Fear and Greed Index, courtesy of CNN. And I found an article that likes to really look at the junk bond indicator. And this is one of the last indicators on their page here. We'll take a closer look at that and see if that can improve our trading potentially. We're going to take a close look at the Stock Traders Almanac and see how this lined up with our actual results. And we're going to take a very close look at January, and especially this sentence here where S&P gains January's first 5 days preceded full year gains 82.2% of the time. So we'll take a very close look at this specific call out. And then we'll look at our sector rotation goodies, of course, and our individual tickers. Not quite earnings season yet, but we'll also take a look at swaggy stocks. And we got lots of news cycle items, all kinds of meta economic stuff. We'll look at a quick overview of 2023. We'll look at the week start to the year and the specifics. Got lots of articles on that. We'll take a couple of different angles, as well as look at the debt situation and what that means to us. And again, lots of articles on that. And we'll take a look at where we are in the trader's journey. And of course, there's the handy dandy emoji guide to investing here. We haven't pulled this out in a while, but it's nice to see where we are. And of course, yeah, there's lots of articles on the start of the year. But yeah, we'll go through all of these and look at some popular items from 2023. And of course, looking at the collective debt markets, lots of things happening. We'll talk about crypto as well. We are approaching the January 10th decision from the SEC on the actual Bitcoin ETF. And we'll look at how, yeah, the crypto market's performing. Lots of domestic news. We'll look at what Americans are focused on for 2024. We'll look at how Southwest is handling its body positivity, insanity, and what that means for price action. And as well as look at other inflation figures and proxies, courtesy of Chick-fil-A. We'll look at all kinds of things getting more expensive in 2024, including drugs. And we'll talk a little bit about excess deaths, and it's a little bit scary. And yeah, mask mandate looks like it's rocking up again. We'll look at California shenanigans between illegals and healthcare, and even the VA providing healthcare to illegals. It's insane. And lots of SF news. We got poop news, which is fantastic, courtesy of Portland this time around. And this is a shout out to, this is the ancient 2011 to 2019 poop map in San Francisco. So it's spreading. And then we'll look at the latest update in sewage processing. And since your boy Warren here was intimately involved in the water infrastructure game with municipal governments, we'll give you the insider's opinion of this bullshit. And we'll also look at Chicago and its shenanigans because we don't want to leave anyone out. And of course, we're going to fix crime by giving them money. Like, this is basically the we will negotiate with terrorists strategy. And I probably shouldn't say the T word with all the AI bots running today, but too late now. Besides that, we'll look at bad car sales, of course, and Starbucks, and we'll look at crazy psycho females and what that means for trading. And it's no accident that this group also highly correlates with student loan repayment problems. And therefore, I decided to make a new watch list, and we'll make it in real time. So we'll call it not 007, but sorry, this sounded better in my head, but 007. Sorry, let me rewrite this. Okay. And, and we'll throw fun things in here, like the Bumble dating app, Match.com and all of its subsidiaries like Tinder and whatnot here, as well as dog food and cat food, since they'll be eating alongside their pets with the continued recession, as well as we got to look at the sector at large. And this, of course, is Rick's Cabaret, the strip club IPO. So the sector leader is not doing too great. So we'll take a look at that. Pivoting to real estate, we'll look at how the home construction ETF is progressing, and we'll look at some latest articles on the current situation. We got some local news here in San Francisco, and we'll look at some commercial real estate debt loads between New York and California. And we'll also look at where folks are moving to these days. And pivoting to tech news, we'll look at how Tesla sales are progressing at a glance. And we'll also look at what EVs are actually qualifying for the very limited $7,500 tax credit. There's been so many new updates to all kinds of edicts for 2024, and we're only beginning to see what that really entails. We'll look at ChatGPT in summary for the year. We'll look at ASML and their what's it called, their lithography machines and what that means for semiconductors. Apple had 2 downgrades back to back, and we'll take a look at this. We saw last week that Visual Capitalist showed that iPhones alone makes up what 52 or 53% of all of Apple's revenue. So this is not good for Apple. We'll look at streaming saturation for consumers, and Netflix has a lot of problems since there's the writer strike is still ongoing, even though the actor strike has finished. So there's going to be a lot of content gaps going forward, and maybe we'll all be watching Korean dramas like Michael in Oregon. All right, we'll look at Elon launching satellite cell phone towers into space, and looking at the labor markets. We'll look at the latest claims data or job claims data, and found an optimistic article. So always good to get the other side's perspective. We'll look at how manufacturing jobs are still declining, and we'll look at how illegals are impacting healthcare and whatnot. So even though it's not quite jobs related, illegals are a part of the gray market and the black market of the labor pool. So it's important to at least take a look at that. Cool. And then lots of international news. Holy cow, everything's happening. South Korean politicians getting stabbed. Maersk is halting shipments in the Red Sea thanks to Houthi stuff. We'll look at what's happening in Lebanon. The civilian air fleet has been activated. This is an augmentation of the U.S. Air Force, specifically with logistics and transportation. And this is not a good thing at all. So we'll take a look at this and historically how that's performed. A lot of shenanigans happening in Japan. And we'll take a look at the Gerald Ford aircraft carrier fleet is returning potentially to Norfolk to resupply after its extended deployment in the Mediterranean. I'm not sure if this is a head fake, but we'll see what this means.
Well, I think
Okay,
that they're 2 months extended over what they should have been.
yeah, but we, yeah, so there might be a power vacuum, so we'll see what's up. Yeah. We'll see Putin sentiments as well. We'll take a look at what's going to be happening potentially along the Gaza. And there's a couple updates to the October 7th music rave massacre. And being your DJ, I'm quite interested to what happened. And we'll also look at the latest attack in Iran. And that's great for world peace, of course. And we talked about the Red Sea, lots of oil stuff. We finally have an addition to the SPR. So we'll see. We'll take a look at those numbers. What else? God, this highlight reel is taking forever. We'll take a look at the Mexican cartels and the Mexican military fighting each other, which instantly reminded me of the Breaking Bad scene where Gus starts a war like just like this, so the cartel gets taken down and his position moves up, so he can sell methamphetamine, he can sell meth into the Southwest. Interesting parallels there. We'll look at that. Um, we'll look at Russian oil through their Indian wholesalers. We'll look at oil field shutdowns. We'll look at diamond prices collapsing. And pivoting to the gold market, lots of updates. Walmart selling gold, among many things, all kinds of stuff. China news, Taiwan news. Here's just titles of videos I've been following and watching. There's almost too much to report on the China side. I don't even know where to start, but we'll take a look at this. And I really wanted to focus on the Taiwanese election. So we'll take a very close look at that. And again, what that means for us as traders, specifically, particularly through Taiwan Semiconductor. So I got latest polling data for you guys, and we'll look at China's interference with the elections, of course. And they're making fake porn to decredit Taiwanese politicians. It's hilarious. And interesting enough, we have a golfing friend of mine that is actively involved at a very interesting deepfake startup, and I'll take a look at that. And here is just a throwback to some other political shenanigans with Taiwan. Um, and yeah, more Chinese news. I'm getting just yeah, ridiculous stuff. Yeah, we'll take a look at all of that. Chinese equity markets are having a tough time. But yeah, so that's the highlight reel. Okay. Oh my God. We better fly through this. Okay. Questions, comments? Let's see if anyone else has joined us since we started.
No, it looks good.
Okay, cool. Uh, Let me update my audio settings. Something changed.
Yeah, I just had a question on the China thing. We'll go backwards this time. But when all of these people are getting uh, lost, are they actually getting assassinated by the government? You know, that when they disappear, like all these rocket force guys. I mean, what exactly happens? They just
Uh,
disappear,
the the worst case scenario is organ transplants.
right?
Uh, the best case scenario is house arrest.
Oh, okay,
So it kind of depends on your connections, cash on hand for bribes, and I guess the governing body and whose jurisdiction you're in.
okay.
Um, yeah, it could vary. And it
There's quite a
seems
few
like
of them. Yeah.
yeah, and it seems like where you're located is kind of dangerous. So like, um, yeah, and which hospital you get sent to, it's very complicated. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, but yes, so let's start off with our poll. This is the interactive part of our session here. So, what do you think the S&P will do by next Thursday? I realize this is slightly worded incorrectly, but yeah. So, in the next week, how do you think the markets will fare? Bullish, sideways, or bearish? If you can vote on your screens.
while people are voting, one general SVOG thing is we're looking for speakers for February and beyond now. So if anybody has any thoughts.
Perfect. Okay, we got 5 votes in, waiting for number 6, so we can just end it here. Okay. Okay, cool. All right, we got 60% saying bullish and 40% saying sideways. So I think it's a very reasonable guess going forward. I think you guys can see the results now. Okay, cool. And after 61 pages of articles, we'll review the poll at the end and see if anyone has changed their opinions. All right, cool. Let's see, what did Flav send us here? Chinese cyber kidnapping in Utah. Student cyber kidnapping. And we're looking at how the scam works. What? Chinese exchange student found in a tent in Snowy Canyon in Utah. Cyber kidnapping. That's interesting.
They got the parents to pay. They fooled both sides without physically kidnapping him, and they fooled both sides to do stuff. The parents to pay and him to hide and send pictures pretending he was kidnapped. So then parents paid the ransom. 17 years old.
So, hey, Flavius, so do you mean that the kid worked with the cyber?
No, he was fooled also. So he was staying with the host family. He's an exchange student.
Okay.
And they got him to go hide in the woods and send pictures as if he was kidnapped. The parents got those and paid 80 grand.
Wow.
Sounds like the kid has problems.
Well, the kids didn't know, right? The kid didn't know. Did he?
The host family,
Sounds like the kids led a sheltered life.
yeah. And this is worth killing people over, and it's not that expensive or complicated.
Well, the thing is, those guys are completely shielded. They could be in Nigeria for all you know. Right?
But I mean, the host family's involved, right? To
No,
a certain extent.
The host family
the guy
didn't know.
disappeared. He just disappeared.
He just disappeared.
was-
Okay.
He probably got a message to do something saying his family's at risk and do this, and then his parents got a message, your kid's at risk, pay. So
Interesting.
they manipulated psychologically both sides.
That's
Oh.
a very complicated setup. I'll have to look into this. That's cool. Thanks,
And
Flav.
of course, both sides were told, don't tell anybody.
Oh yeah, that's how it starts, right?
Don't go to the cops. What does this remind me of? Man on Fire with Denzel Washington. Okay, but yeah, I'll take a look at this. This is cool. Thanks, Flav.
Is this something that's happening now? Is
It
it
just happened.
just happened? This is the first case that we know
Ah.
of.
I would yeah, and I wouldn't worry about too much. Just yeah, it's not that yeah, it's all good. Nobody died. It's okay. I mean, to look on the bright side.
You left something out of your summary, though.
What was that?
The Harvard president, the
Oh,
ex-president.
President Gay, who plagiarized there's 5 counts of plagiarism. Last I checked, she is the shortest serving tenure of president ever, and it took how much backlash from the public for Harvard to finally get the balls to fire her?
How did Harvard pick her in the first place?
There was 40 possibles, and there's like another round coming.
Well, here's the thing. I think I figured it out. It's not that they didn't know she was plagiarizing. They knew, and they hired her anyway and used the plagiarized items as controlling assets, so to make sure she stays in line. So
I think she was just DEI.
Yeah, DI for sure. Yeah, but yeah. I mean, everyone now can
credentials. How could you put her in that position? Zero credentials.
Diversity hire galore, right? And I mean,
No shit.
She even has the she even has the right last name, right? Like I mean, what's the more ESG, DEI, CRT friendly last name? Gaystein. I don't know what else. Like,
Yeah, you can't come up with one.
Gayberg. I don't know what else you could do. So yeah, I guess we can all discount Ivy League degrees now, at big time, especially going forward. It's all indoctrination now. It's insane. So yeah, and I've seen plenty of Harvard MBAs now that like I've lost all respect for them. It's like, and they give me. I remember like at Covalent Metrology, the two founders were both Harvard MBA grads and roommates, and they saw my background, and then they were asking me, "Hey Warren, what's your opinion on the Federal Reserve and gold?" And I was like, "Oh, this is a trick question, but I'll play along." I was like, the Fed's, it's corrupt. There's no reserves. It's not federal. It's privately owned. 6% annual dividend. Blah blah blah. Gold is sound money. I represent the Austrian School of Economics, and they just laughed at me. I'm like, so you guys are basically Keynesian economic disciples, and you follow this gay guy who thought debt was a joke, and they're like they and then they shut up. So and, I mean, they still hired me, but yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, and then Stanford MBAs are also like dumbasses and like at a different level. So yeah. So Harvard. It's just like I didn't really bring this up because it's not really tradable. So I'm trying to be more action oriented for our benefit.
Yeah.
Because I get into enough cultural things anyway during the active discussion. So yeah. Oh, who else just joined? Oh, Alan, welcome. Let me share the notes for you. We're gonna share the Google Docs link so people can follow along interactively. And
Just
here you
want to
go,
test
Alan.
it. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Mark, can you?
Yeah,
Okay, good.
you're good. Awesome. And we got our patriotic pineapple section for Alan to rant on. So I hope you talk about Hawaiian pizza and Taiwanese politics in our China components.
Oh man, don't get me started with the pineapple bullshit.
I know Canadian bacon and Hawaiian pineapples. Like, what the hell is going on? We'll get to that. Okay, we got 90 minutes to go through a lot of stuff. All right, let's go to Idiot of the Week. And of course, we got to pull up our boy, Jim Cramer. All right, Jim Cramer. Long story short, he said the recession is not coming. So there's a nice like 30-second bit, but that's generally the gist. And just to recap, folks, why do we dislike Jim Cramer? Conflict of interest, number one. He's a talking head. His job is to sell advertising slots. And who buys these advertising slots? Mutual fund companies for the most part, and portfolio companies related to those folks. So yeah, he has a conflict of interest. So yeah, we're gonna.
Is he a talking head for himself, or is he working for somebody?
Oh, he gets a salary from CNBC, and then he has his own
CNBC
and stuff on the side.
Yeah, I don't know his history. Let's take a quick look. Oh no, Harvard Law School. Ooh, red flag. Worked for Goldman Sachs, hedge fund manager, founder. Had his own firm, I guess. When did Mad Money start? 2002? He was writing for The Street in 96 and 2021. I mean, I'd never watch him basically, but from the limited stuff I've seen, he's entertaining us for sure. But oh damn,
can't stand him.
Oh, okay, he's obnoxious. And I'm obnoxious by myself, so I don't need competition. But he's magna cum laude. Wow. Wait.
Yeah, you remember the TV show Options Action on CNBC?
I do like that.
Well, remember there's used to be a guy named, last name, I think it was James Cow, Khow. Anyway, he came and spoke to us at SVOG or TOPS years ago, and I talked to him, and I said, talk to him about Cramer. Yeah, the guy right there on the left. And he said he couldn't say much, but he said his opinion was Cramer was very smart.
Wasn't very smart.
Wasn't very smart.
He was very smart.
He was very smart. Oh, okay.
He used to have a column in the probably syndicated column in the Chronicle, And that was fantastic. He is really sharp, but the money is in entertainment. Just look at Trump.
Yeah. Performance, Kramer's investments. Okay. And there's the Jim Cramer index and also the inverse of that. So we don't have time to get into it, but yeah. So in general, very sharp guy for sure, but you know, conflict of interest galore. So we'll
You
discount his
don't know what
information.
his real positions are.
Yeah, yeah. And oh, quick announcement. Again, thank you to Wani for helping us find our January speaker with Mr. Jay Soloff. So very excited to see his work. And then if anyone has ideas going forward, let us know.
Hey, Warren, do you know what he is talking about? What is he gonna be
I
talking about?
am not in the loop, and the description hasn't been updated here yet, but we'll see,
okay.
like hopefully by next week. Yeah.
Okay. And I can send the link to other people in my other group, right?
Oh,
To
please.
come
Yeah,
in.
of course, of course,
Yeah,
of course. We
So
we don't.
I just go to the website and get the link, like copy and paste the website and then send it to the
Yeah.
group.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Once it's not ready yet, but just tell them to
Oh, it's not? Oh, okay.
yeah, just tell them to block the time slot for now.
So maybe by next week, maybe?
Yeah, that
it's being
yeah,
worked
that's not
on
my
right now.
wheelhouse, but yeah.
Yeah, it's being worked on.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. Okay.
Cool.
So get more people to come. That'll be good.
Yep. And then here's another idiot of the week. So I found this asshole on Wall Street Bets, and here's the thing. This guy YOLO'd his account, like he went all in 5 times. He blew it up 4 times, and now on the 5th time, he went from 45K to 600K.
Whoa, what did he do?
Just pure insanity. We'll look at his trades in just a second, but I just want to show
it
you
will
guys.
last a week before it blows it up again.
Yeah.
What's he trading?
Just dumb shit. Let's see.
Butterfly,
just
bears.
indexes, just like ridiculous shit. And his expirations are like laser thin, like within like nothing longer than even 2 weeks. It's just all over the place. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy. So what can we learn from this? So I wrote this down. Jim and I were working on sort of iron trading rules, and we never quite finished it. So I would like to kind of cement this into kind of like canon for SVOG. But generally speaking, here's the basic iron rules. You need a trading plan. It needs to be written down in writing written. Like I don't know how many people like skip this. And especially for beginners, you have to do this. And you guys have seen my notes from 2020 and 2021. Like every trade had a freaking like 7-page like PDF attached to it. It was nuts, but
wow.
It taught me a lot. So you want to go over the rationale, look at charts, so you can do an autopsy and not have to mess around with fetching think back data and whatever. And you need to have articulated entries, articulated exits, both for the profit and oh shit, I blew up my trade exit as well. Portfolio sizing is position sizing is hugely important, and keeping idle cash on your portfolio to have that ballast aspect is really important. Having like money management rules, like at least have a basic 20% loss exit, and that's standard procedure from CanSlim and beyond. But yeah, risk mitigation is just not talked about enough. I gotta maybe also add, beta weighting your portfolio for hedges is really important to know how to do, especially when you need to slap on cheap insurance, with under 10 mouse clicks. Like do you know how to do that?
Like always say, Sharpe ratio.
Yeah.
Understanding
Tracking your
Sharpe
performance.
ratio.
Yeah, let's put that.
Sharpe ratio, Sortino. I don't even know what Sortino ratio
Are you
is.
beating the market?
Sharpe ratio. Sortino.
Let me just make sure.
I think it's SOR. Sortino.
Sorrentino. Okay, yeah.
Sortino.
Okay, yeah. Cool. So yeah, you need to make sure you're beating the market. If you're not, you can not trade or hire an option-centric money manager like our boy Jonathan Massey. He's a chief investment officer at Paragon Wealth Management, I believe. But yeah, also, are you forcing it? There's a difference between forcing it and pushing it. And also, most importantly, are you having fun? For a lot of us, this is a great game, and I like that there's dollar signs attached to it. And it's a real role-playing game where the object of the game is to collect money. It works for everybody.
Dopamine.
Dopamine, yeah. I mean, you're talking like a gambler, which I like too, but yeah, be careful, honey. Awesome. But yeah, like we talked about this earlier, there's lithium battery fires on the open ocean, which is always fun. And yeah, cool. So there's the idiots of the week. And let's get to our market overview. We got lots to go over. All right, so let's check out the ES, still flat, and let's go to the analytics. And of course, we love the put call ratio. It gives a nice snapshot of how the public is wagering their money, and gives a sense of how fast we can potentially catch the falling knife, potentially. But yes, so here's a ratio of ratio of bearish contracts versus bullish contracts, and it's 1.8. Fair value in this crazy economy since 2020 is about 1.4. So a little bit higher than normal, but not too much. Deltas look a little bit stacked on the low delta side, but we'll take a look at the other indexes and see if we can see correlation across the market. And I love this sort of analytics because it gives you a nice kind of under the hood glance. And if SVOG will cooperate and not be stuck, that would be nice as well. Okay. And it's still thinking. Okay, here we go. Okay. 1.2, this is a little bit smidge more bullish than normal. This also likes to live in the 1.3, 1.4 realm. Sizzle index numbers are all broken still because these numbers don't match. That doesn't evoke a lot of confidence, but yes. Let's look at SPY and see how this is shaping up. The retail side is generally speaking more optimistic than the supposed smart money of the prop firms, hedge firms, and big institutions. But let's take a look. But yes, this is notably a little bit more bullish at 1.1. The Hail Mary delta range of 0 to 20 is not the go-to here, or at least it's the money spread a little bit more evenly across the deltas, unlike SPX and ES. And with that, let's go to our other major indexes, and let's start off with the NASDAQ, our tech index. And this is also analogous to XLK, which is a subsector of the S&P 500, and we'll take a look at this in our sector rotation part of the program. And here, yes, the NASDAQ is really bullish. So it looks like people are trying to I guess buy the dip from the week, and yeah, lots of optimistic deltas overall. So yeah, very strong performance in tech here, and with 3 rate decreases coming up, it's not a bad move at all actually. But what is your purchasing power in this melt up scenario? That's a different question altogether. And let's go to the Russell 2000. The more schizophrenic of the indexes, it loves to overreact to everything. And being the top 2,000 companies on the exchange, it gives us a nice broader glance of the market as well. And based on the Stock Traders Almanac, we've been very bullish on the Russell 2K for a bit. And this usually is a 2.3 on the put call ratio. And today it's a 1.0, which is amazingly optimistic. So that's pretty good for them. And again, the deltas also seem to indicate some optimism. And let's go to our retard index, the diamonds, hardly traded, and it likes to eat glue in the corner. This is famous for being wildly optimistic, and let's see if today is no exception. $1.4. It's usually like at 1.0, but yeah, deltas are pretty optimistic. Yeah, looks like another usual day. Or yeah, it's pretty bullish already, up 1/3% as well. All right, cool. Let's check out our VIX number from the CBOE, the supposed fear index. It's not really a fear index, but yes, it's gone from 13.1 last week to 13.89. Oh yes, if you went long at 12, you're sitting happy. But this is peanuts to what it could be doing. Let's go to the charts and look at the VIX number historically. Just a quick recap. VIX is the volatility of the SPX, but inverted. So if VIX goes up, that means the market's crashing, or demarket, as in the S&P 500. All right, and let's zoom out a little bit. Let's see how long the VIX has been in the low range. And yeah, it's for all of the geopolitical turmoil, it's been camping at the 12 level obscenely a long time. 12, 13. It's drastically undervalued. So yeah, that will probably change in the near future. All right, so yeah, we looked at all of that. Let's go back to our notes. Cool. Let's transition to sentiment data and see where our fellow traders are thinking. So this has been fairly bullish lately, but it's slowing down. But yeah, for the start of the year, we got 48.6% bullish, 27.9% neutral, and 23.5% bearish. All right, cool. And let's look at the fear and greed index, and we'll look at the junk bond indicator, as we mentioned. And who else just joined? Oh, Michael from Oregon. Welcome, welcome. Let me drop the notes for you, Michael, in the chat.
Morning.
Welcome.
Morning.
Oh, Michael, I just started Reply 1988. Have you seen that series?
No, what's that?
What? Oh, from 2015, pretty famous. It's like top 3 K-drama series, I think, from what I've seen.
Oh, I've never heard of that one.
Oh, it's pretty cool. It's quite the ensemble cast. But yeah, it's like top 3 and all, like maybe top 2 even. But yeah.
That
You
sounds
watch
like fun.
Korean, you watch Korean drama?
I certainly do.
Michael is filthy rich and living the life, so of course he watches K-dramas. He's retired.
Oh, by the way, Flavius, I watched The Imitation Game. That was really good.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, I
Yeah,
watched
did
it
you
too.
did you get to watch it
I
yet?
did.
Or
I did.
it was really good.
Okay.
It's really,
cool.
really good movie. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah,
That
it's
is
really
a good film.
Yeah,
Okay,
it is.
sweet.
It's really good.
Sweet.
Thanks for recommending.
Sure.
Good stuff. All right. Here's CNN's page. Again, I don't like this 125 moving average, but it's helpful to see where it is. Generally speaking, I like the 200 and 500 day from my charting. But anyway, let's see. Stock price strength. We're seeing a lot of net new highs and lows here, affecting about 5% of the market. So lots of volatility there and indicating potential extreme greed. Stock market breadth. So this is more like, what's the equivalent of this? It's not quite like, it's like, I guess the closest maybe layman's explanation is you're looking at the median value of all the stocks, sort of, and you're trying to see, is the collective ocean rising or falling? So yes, and if it's rising too fast, then maybe it's indicating extreme greed. So potentially looking at that. Again, we've abused the hell out of put call options, and here we're still pretty low. And COVID in 2019 was sort of the historical peaks, and that's at 2.0 and beyond levels. So we're not there at all. So from trying to catch the falling knife, it's far, far away at the moment. And we talked about VIX already. We can leave that alone. But yeah, let's look at junk bond demand a little bit closer. So let's look at the explanation really quick. Generally speaking, Let's see. Okay, a wider spread between junk bonds and investment grade products indicates more caution. Okay, so we're seeing more greed at the moment as that gap is lowered. So let's go to our article and see what this author was talking about on why it's his favorite indicator. Okay.
Is there any kind of junk bond for lithium batteries?
That'll be a fun perspective from a fund manager. Maybe we can start that,
Yeah.
You buy 1 part water, 1 part fire extinguisher companies, and then you buy a lot of shipping companies or dry bulk shipping stuff. Yeah. So let's see. High yield junk bonds. Let's see what this is. Okay, let me fast forward a little bit. Okay, so HYG's leading stocks to the downside, blah, blah, blah. Let's just go to the charts real quick and look at HYG so we get a better snapshot of what this product entails. So we're seeing a beautiful rip up here. So that's like a Y equals 3X curve right there. Super sharp. And it's blowing past the 500-day, 200-day moving averages. Going to the bottom left quadrant here on our 90-day snapshot, you're seeing on balance volume explode to the upside since October. And it's been holding those high values. So looks like a lot of investors have been grabbing these higher yields. Let's take a look at the analytics. And Warren, why didn't you mention this sooner? You look at this every week. Well, there's too many ways to make money in the market, so we can't cover them all. But looks like today looks really bearish overall. But as a whole, price action does look. Was this a gap down? Sorry, let's zoom in a little bit. Okay. Okay, it is gapping down into the new year. Okay, something's happening. So maybe we shouldn't read into this article too much. This seems a little bit dangerous, but it is interesting to note like this trend with the market. So definitely a good item to study. Let me drop this article in the chat if you guys want to delve deeper into this. Since we have 80 pages more to go, let's fast forward and speed up. All right.
But does that particular symbol have options, and are they liquid?
Oh,
I
yes.
think so.
HYG,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
HYG is the
Okay.
more liquid of there's another one from not iShares. I think it's BlackRock. But yeah, this has tens of thousands. So the bid-ask spread is pretty decent. Going to the monthly contracts, I believe it's penny gap or penny wide. Almost penny wide looks like. A couple pennies. But yeah, penny wide.
Better than
volume.
I would have expected.
Yeah. So there's a lot of junk bond traders here. So I'm sure there's specialists that just watch this like a hawk.
So basically, people are a little bit greedy right now because they're
Yes.
risking with the junk bond.
Yeah. It seems attractive, and
Right.
it's not seen as the liability that it should be. And this also kind of correlates with I've been seeing I subscribe to like so many finance channels on YouTube. A lot of folks are like pro dividend, and I just took if you learn options trading, you don't need dividend investing. Like I understand there's a place for it for sure, and it's nice to augment profits, but you're risking so much principal, and a lot of these dividend traders don't hedge the principal at all. So to me, it seems like pure insanity. But there's a place for it. So I don't want to knock dividends, but it just seems like a weird way to invest one-handed. But that's just
I think
me.
it's more for like people who are living on like retirement or something like that. They don't want to risk their money.
Yeah.
It's almost like an income to them, dividends.
Yeah. But my anti-inflation dog named Cola would really challenge that. So we'll see. Okay.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Totally.
But yeah, December's almanac hit really well. So it was really cool to see line by line, to see the Russell 2000 and small caps outperform. We definitely saw that trend and confirmed it. But yeah, that's really cool. So let's look at January's almanac and see how this shakes up. All right, Germany's barometer predicts the year's course with a .743 batting average. 14 of the last 17 post-presidential election years have followed January's direction. Every down January on the S&P since 1950, without exception, has preceded a new or extended bear market, a flat market, or a 10% correction. S&P's gains from January's first 5 days preceded full year gains 82.2% of the time in 13 of the last 17 post-presidential election years have followed this first 5 days direction. November, December, January constitute the year's best 3-month span. January's NASDAQ is a powerful 2.8% since 1971, and we did see extreme bullishness in the NASDAQ, right? January effect now starts in mid-December and favors small cap stocks. And 2009 has a dubious honor of being the worst S&P 500 January on record. Dow gained more than 1,000 points in 18 and 2019. Cool. So let's go back to the Russell 2000 and see if the trend is continuing. Let's just verify that really quick. It was flying for sure for for several weeks, but we might be running out of steam and moving into a capitulation phase here. So yeah. I don't have ATR pulled up here, but it's, this is ATR is probably indicating that it's been waiting for a breakout for a bit. Okay. Yeah, so good stuff on the almanac. So we'll talk about February almanac starting next week. And let's look at our sector rotation. This is our 11 subsectors that make up the S&P 500. And this gives us a nice kind of visual quadrant to see how it's moving from being in favor to out of favor. And here's this nice overlay in the background with the S&P 500 behind us. And each little chunk here is 1 week, and we have a 5-week tail. And our number one loser is XLE, which is energy and gas. No surprises there. Top ones include real estate, domestic financials here, technology stocks, XLK, and this parallels our extreme optimism that we saw in the NASDAQ analytics just a bit ago. And who's losing? Communication stocks here, XLC, healthcare stocks, XLV here is not doing great. And kudos to Jonathan Wong. We talked about this back in 2020, that January is in open enrollment time galore. So looking at healthcare stocks, let's pivot to UNH really quick and see how that stock is shaping up. It might be a little bit early, but there is seasonality to the healthcare gain. So historically, it tends to like open enrollment season, kind of. At least that was our hypothesis in 2020 and 2021. Is this valid now? Seems like not really. Seems like January, it's actually having a hard time. And with the latest layoff data, this might kind of match. And let's see, we have layoff data for now 3 years from layoffs.fyi. So let's see, 2022, 164K, 2023, 262, and now 284. So that's around 400,000 white collar tech jobs that have disappeared off the face of the planet. And let's see what the latest ones do or are here. Oh, you guys see this? Hyperloop One, Los Angeles, 100%. Oh, they just all got fired. Thanks a lot, Elon. eBay, just ridiculous. All kinds of shenanigans here. Okay. So yeah, maybe healthcare is going to be in for a tough time. So let's go back to sector rotation. This might continue sliding to the left. Let's go to our table view. This is slightly stale data, by the way. So yeah. But yeah, from a week to week, at least let's see, percentage change perspective here. Tech might be slowing here, even though it's flying, it's slowing down. We want to see long, strong tails, kind of like with real estate, that's climbing. Okay. All right, cool. So those are the top sectors. Let's look at individual tickers, and you guys can just shout them out or drop them in the chat, and I'm happy to take a look.
HYG.
HYG, no joke. All right, HYG junk bonds. All right. Let's throw some other products there. Let's throw a TLT for 20-year bonds. Let's get some IEF. Those are the 2 to 7-year treasuries. And yeah, we used to look at the chain like that. Maybe we should re-implement that. Let me add that to our notes. Maybe we should do, yeah, we should look at bond products in this way. Let me just add this. Bond products. So we should look at the oldest stuff, TLT, and then IEF, and then HYG. Okay, should include in IOU section. Okay, so we'll keep a look on at this. So yeah. Okay. And if you guys are David Chappelle fans, there's that bit on Wu-Tang Financial on diversifying your bonds. So yeah, I should add this as the image or the category.
It's not about diversifying your blondes.
Your bonds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was like it was a skit. It's kind of funny, like, yeah. Oops, sorry. Okay. Okay. Anyway, let's get back to our program. Where are we? Sector rotation. Okay. Okay. So let's see where everybody is. Let's go to our table view. U.S. Steel. It's Japanese now. Let's see. NEO stock is up here. Oh, the NEO office sits on North First Street in San Jose and Montague Expressway on that big corner on the northeast corner, and the building's empty. The sign has been taken down. So let's see what's happening. The office is gone. Nothing. Okay, no one. There's no reports here. But yeah, the San Jose office is gone. So let's look at the stock.
Couldn't they just change the sign from Neo to No?
No. Yeah. Yeah. You had a good resurrection the last couple of weeks, but from all of the Chinese I'm seeing, there's no hope for these guys. And every vehicle they sell is a net loss for the company. So I don't know how this is going to be sustainable. But let's see if the betting public agrees with the patented Warren sentiment. No, everyone's buying the dip. All right. It's nice to have a higher scaffold to hang you off of. But yes, the crowd is against Warren's opinion. But we'll see how that goes. All right, cool. Oh, any other tickers you guys want to throw up here? Let's see what other notable winners have been up here. We see AMD up here. Upstart, so our buy now, pay later stock is doing well. Where's Affirm? I don't see Affirm here. Oh, Affirm. Where's Affirm? Did you not put it here? Where is Affirm? AFM. Let's add that here. Okay. What is Affirm's ticker again?
AFRM.
AFRM.
AFRM. AFRM. Okay, there we go. Okay, Affirm is the #1 ticker. Oh, sweet Jesus. That is flying up there. And here's Upstart, not too far away. So if we go to the charts, we'll see that we're working way too hard and need to just buying firm stock. And if we were smart enough and listened to Ross a couple weeks back, we'd be rich and retired by now. But no, we're pig-headed and we're going to buy Alibaba stock. So yeah, let's see. Yeah, number 2 here. But yeah, Affirm's doing really well. And Chinese stocks are on the bottom, including Apple. Okay, no surprises there. Any other tickers you guys want to throw up here? Where's Tesla? Right here. Okay. If you guys think of anything else, we can always come back to this. So not a problem. Okay. I don't think there's earnings this week, I believe, or at least nothing important or anything with liquidity. So, oh, Stephen Covey's company. Shout out to what is this? What's his famous books? The something guide to blah blah blah, the four quadrants. Lots of good stuff actually. Oh, Kira Sushi. This is the revolving sushi place. There's a couple spots in the Bay Area here. San Jose, Pleasanton. Yeah. So
I
that's
didn't
kind of
know
cool.
that any sushi company was public.
I know.
Yeah.
There's Korean barbecue that's public. Did you know
Yeah.
that?
Mhm.
Gen K.
That I
They're
could believe.
Korean barbecue. They sell pork belly and beef. That's it. And their secret sauce. It's a public company. It's hilarious.
Wow.
Not doing too well, but it's a public company. I
Mhm.
mean, Michael, there's strip clubs that are on the exchange. Like, why are you surprised there's food?
Oh yeah,
I
I
mean,
guess not.
Waste management is is a stock. The mafia went legit, just like the Yakuza, So yeah, the underworld is now legitimate. So yeah, let's go back to earnings. So we got some food and some Franklin Covey stuff. He's Mormon as well, which is kind of cool in a way. But yeah, not a lot of earnings stuff yet. So we'll have to wait a little bit. I believe the blackout period for Q1 earnings will start in a couple weeks, so that'll impact that side a little bit. Let's go to Swaggy Socks to get an at a glance look at the toxic subreddit of Wall Street Bets. So this gives us a sentiment readout of all of the top posts as an aggregate, and we don't have to look at individual posts, and we just see what people are talking about. So it looks like all the usual suspects. Looks like we got some dry bulk shipping popping up here in the top 4. This has come out of nowhere. But yeah, let's look at Zim. We haven't talked about them in a long time. And yeah, dry bulk shipping and container ships type stuff. This
Are
is
they the
August.
Israeli firm?
I don't know. They're obviously
Yes,
not making
they are.
money. They are? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's take a closer look then.
I was doing this 2 years ago, but it went bad. So
Yeah,
they
there
hit
was
peak
definitely a season.
earnings, peak COVID earnings, and then it just went downhill.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, as some of you know, I'm moving out of the East Bay
Where you going?
temporarily here. Probably I'm looking for a place. I'm just on a holding period at my friend's place because my landlord situation has changed. But yeah, probably yeah, shooting to get out of the East Bay back into like the South Bay, so it should be good. In the short term. But yeah, I just want to point out like there was a storage unit place I was looking up just to hold some of my DJ gear. They have like the usual self-storage stuff, but then they had a pile of containers in the middle, and they're just standard containers just dropped. And I was like, wow, that's actually a really cheap way to set up a storage unit business. Just buy containers, drop them on the ground, paint them all the same color, and start charging folks. I was like, wow,
Yeah,
that's
they can
not
buy them for a couple thousand a piece.
exactly. I mean, there's been like a movement to build houses out of containers
Yeah.
and stuff. So yeah.
Make sure it's
Yeah.
watertight. When you store your stuff, they can be leaking, and then you come back and it's all destroyed. So
Yeah. I mean, water damage is the least of my concerns, relatively speaking. I once had a storage unit in Fremont. It wasn't my building, but it was the one adjacent to it. It caught on fire and burned down like 6 units. And I'm like, holy shit! If that was my unit, like it would be fucking fireworks and all kinds of bullshit.
Yeah.
If you catch my drift. But yeah, if Warren's house is on fire, run.
Okay,
Okay.
so I'm assuming you're trying to look for someplace that's fairly um like controlled environment and stuff like that. Because I was going to suggest in self-storage where my place is. It's right in the middle of Cupertino. That was I still got a really good rate there.
Oh, what's it called?
In self-storage.
Oh,
It's
in self. In self
high-end
storage.
self-storage in
Okay. Oh, cool.
Cupertino.
Cupertino. Okay. And I mean, this would be like a fun future business idea, but there's like wine storage, mini storage units. It's ridiculous. There's a bunch in like Menlo Park, Palo Alto. Yeah, thanks. I'll check this out.
Okay.
Like wine storage, like as potential businesses. And from a profitability per square foot perspective, mini storage is incredible. And it's very few headaches. You don't have the eviction problems that residential folks have to deal with, and you don't have like knucklehead tenants like Gap that doesn't pay their rent if you're doing a commercial space, like with Simon Property Group, which is having a nightmare with that. Um,
I would think
but
you would
yeah,
need good earthquake insurance for wine, though.
certainly, yeah. There's some seismic protection, but yeah, here's like the wine bank. Um,
And here's the best part, Warren. What you do is like basically build a, you're supposed to have offices and things like that in these storage facilities, but what you do is on the very top of it, you make your own residential area.
right,
There's
there
a
you go. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
so there's a storage company out in Hawaii that's exactly just that. I wanted to show you that place. That was like really, really interesting. It got sold recently to a larger holding
What's
company.
What's
But
it
there was
called? What's it called?
I'm not certain what the name is now, but it was out in Hawaii Storage Company. Not the
Hawaii
just
Kai?
Yeah, it's in Hawaii. Yeah, I think that's probably it. Hawaii Extra Storage now. They basically became Extra Storage.
Okay. And 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 for a second, just to talk about this for a second, storage, external storage is a very US centric thing. Like this is not a
Mhm.
thing in China,
Oh, in
Japan,
Asia.
Thailand.
No,
Yeah, yeah.
no.
Nobody does this. Like Americans
Right,
are freaking pack rats.
right,
And
right,
and
right.
and and we talked about this before, just as a throwback to our COVID days. When everyone was moving out of the coastal states into the interior of the United States, we tracked this as a group. Let me find it really quick. It was called the Reverse Oregon Trail Watch List. And if you see here, there's a lot of storage companies, U-Haul, a lot of migration related businesses. So very, very tradable back then. Let's look at the charts really quick. I haven't looked at this in quite some time. So here's PSA, public storage. Wow, look at
Wow,
that. Beautiful. And
wow.
as economic chaos reigns supreme, people are in transition, and logistics and transportation and storage companies will pick up the slack. So let's look at U-Haul. No exception here, having some capitulation lately with everybody else. But look at that. U-Haul's been like, how did I miss this? Warren, what are you
Wow.
doing? Oh my God. You're not looking at your own watch list, Warren. All right, leaving so much money on the table. Um, but yeah, it's a great business model. So we're kind of getting out of hand here, but I just want to take out storage options here. So here's wine storage. So it looks like these folks buy, sell, and store. Like that's beautiful vertical integration with very few headaches. You have, I mean, and this, you're dealing with primo products and I imagine a better level of or better caliber of customer, which is kind of cool. And let's look at we have a
There was a guy in Berkeley who did a huge scam using this idea. He would sell the wine and say, then I'll store it for you. But
Uh-huh.
he would just take the money and sell the same wine over and over. John Fox, the
We're
biggest
he
lucky.
looks
Ponzi wine scheme.
he looks like
He
a
looks
mofo that would do
trustworthy,
this.
right?
He looks totally trustworthy. His
Yeah,
name
on
is
University
Fox,
Ave.
Mr. Fox.
So what's he doing?
He kept selling the wine and say, "Oh, you know what? I'll store it for you. You don't have to pick it up," and just kept selling it and selling it.
And the
All
people that
bankers. Oh, go ahead,
wow.
Lonnie.
And the people that let him store the wine just don't ask to get the wine from him.
Well, you can go and see it. You just don't know that it's also sold to 20 other people.
It's a fractional reserve banking
Fractional
wines.
reserve.
Um,
Wow.
yeah. I mean, all bankers have a temptation to print out more receipts than what's in the vault. It's a very human thing. Basically, everyone who's tried this temptation has failed. Oh, there's like a glorious Empire of Silver story about like Chinese banking, which is kind of cool. One of my other gold silver traders told me about this. It's kind of a dumb story, but it gives you an insight into like what pre-European China was like from a banker's perspective, which was kind of incredible. And the whole movie's on YouTube. But yeah, it's called Empire of Silver. It features heartthrob Aaron Kwok, which is one of the 4 most famous Hong Kong movie stars. But yeah, his love story is kind of dumb in this thing, but it's really about the family of bankers. It's kind of cool, and it's all silver ingots, which is my shit. But yeah, yeah, John Fox. This is hilarious. And let's take a look at the wine index. We haven't talked about this in a long time, and as some of you know, I opened up a wine investment trust fund in Macau over a decade ago. So this used to be my purveyor of choice, and they had some great analytics. Looks like they've put a paywall behind all of that now, but yeah. I mean, being a gold guy, it's easy to see that Warren's big into alternative asset classes. And let's see, here is the top 50 wines as a group. Yeah, it's collapsing. No surprises there. Top 100, same trend. Yeah, it used to be a little bit more segmented for the data, but this is okay at a glance. Yeah.
Well, Warren,
All
you
right.
heard of Masterworks, right? For arts.
Oh yeah, that's a
Masterworks,
total
yeah.
scam. That's total
It's a
bullshit.
scam? Really?
Oh yeah, like it's okay. If the word fractional reserve is in the prospectus or the business plan, it's game over. This is a huge scam. A lot of YouTubers have there've been YouTubers that have fallen for it and YouTubers that have actively publicly renounced this potential sponsor. But the idea is you can invest fractionally into expensive pieces of art.
Right.
And God, it's so easy to abuse the hell out of this.
So how do they decide when a piece of art gets sold?
I
And
have
then how
no
much do you make?
I have no idea. They're just, I mean, like the art world
800.
is about the art world is about laundering. It's for laundering money. Like that's the whole, you know, modern art movement. It's not complicated. Hunter Biden was involved with his own thing for a long time. This is common knowledge. Like all the art history majors, like these are idiots. Like they don't know what the hell they're talking about. But yeah, like we don't have time to get into this. But yes, stay away from this. There is a fortune to be made in collectibles, artwork, cars, and whatnot. But this is not this is for idiots. Yeah, yeah. Do not do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can't afford to buy.
Again?
Sorry, what's that, Dave?
What was the name of the movie?
Oh, Empire of Silver
Okay,
for
I
the
got
metal
it.
stuff.
No worries.
It's on YouTube. Yeah, let me get
Yeah,
you the
yeah.
link actually.
That's
Empire
okay.
of
I
Silver.
can do it. I just needed to write it
Okay.
down.
Okay. Oh, and it talks about you can see a little bit about like the opium trade in China. But yeah, Empire Silver. Really
Is it in
entertaining movie.
Chinese? In Chinese or in English?
It has subtitles. It's in Mandarin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it has subtitles.
Another good investment is also warehouses.
In the right zone, in the right region, for the right industry.
At the right time.
Of course, right?
Yes. 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 Yeah. Okay. We are 45 minutes in and we haven't started our news articles. Oh my gosh, we're so behind. All right, we're gonna skip a lot of articles and just read headlines. All right, we gotta finish. All right. Let's keep going. All right. Here's 2023 in review. Let me drop this in the chat. All right. lots of external catalysts all across the board. So let's see. January, China opens borders and zero COVID policy. Oh yeah, I kind of remember that. Disaster. And they did this overnight, which is hilarious. And they had the most draconian BS batch testing for COVID possible. It was like they tested whole floors, put all the samples in the same vial and tested it that way. And then if it tested positive, the whole building gets locked down. It was just, and they were doing PCR tests and not antigen. It was totally crazy. Like you can force positives on the PCR test. So total shenanigans. Let's see. We had the balloon crisis debacle, SVB collapsed. What's not talked about is technically the collapse of Credit Suisse was magnitudes worse
Oh,
than the
yeah, I
regional
remember.
failures. And the reason Credit Suisse wasn't counted in the banking failure was because this is a brokerage house or an investment house. It's not a commercial bank formally, even though Credit Suisse has substantial banking operations as well. Semantics, but that's a very dangerous and expensive semantic game to play. So just want to remind you guys on that.
Didn't
Okay.
another bank bought Credit Suisse?
UBS. And
UBS, yeah, right.
Yeah,
right.
and we were talking about Credit Suisse for a long time, starting last
Right.
year. So yeah.
I traded it during that time.
Yeah, I think many of us did. So but
Yeah.
yeah, we saw what more NATO shenanigans, no surprises there. We had mission accomplished with COVID-19. In June we had a Titan submersible drown. We had Wagner conflict or Wagner Group's insanities in West Africa. The Hawaiian fire situation. Kids still missing. Oh my gosh, retarded stuff. BRICS expanding. Teamsters striking like there's no tomorrow. Yeah, and then here's the Gaza conflict. Xi Jinping meets Biden, and I went to go say hi. Yeah, Red Sea shenanigans, like all kinds of like BS. Wow. And VIX the whole time was, under 20 for the most part. But yeah, let's see what else we had happening. Okay, now getting to some more meta analysis, economic type stuff, the macro. All right, so here, kicking off the new year, we've seen some interesting numbers come out already. Lots of folks deleveraging from the marketplace, both for stocks and bonds, to a massive tune. Ironically, that's pretty quick, 1.55 billion, and let's see. Dollar is rallying, but to what end? Let's see. ISM data is also weak, so this is manufacturing, and there's some FOMC data coming out. We'll ignore that for now. The big seven, the Max 7 stocks are not having a good time in this new year. Very subdued trading, and yeah, not quite bouncing back. And let's see, going back to the Stock Traders Almanac, the beginning days and weeks of the year are extremely critical. So here's just like at a glance for the first two days of the year, and looking at the bad years. Let's see, 06, 07, 08 in particular. Are we seeing a similar trend? So you see green, red, a lot of red. Green, a little red, a lot of red. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. We talked about the Russell 2000 a lot. It is the higher highs and higher lows pattern has broken, so maybe it is going the other way, but we'll take a closer look by next week. And yeah, let's see what else. Let's fast forward. There's some of this noise. Gold has dropped a little bit. Yeah, we know that. Okay. There's a bunch of different macro articles. Let's just fast forward a little bit. We talked about the Maersk stoppage in the Red Sea, but I also saw an important comment somewhere. container shipping rates are still 4 times higher than pre-COVID. So we don't have time to delve into an example, but yeah, so it's complicated. All right, let's keep going. Got lots of asset classes to talk about. All right. We looked at something like this already. We'll skip treasury yield, skip. Dollar strength has ripped higher, as we know. Mega cap stocks are down. And Apple has gapped down. This is mainly due to an analyst downgrade, and we had another downgrade again. So we'll take a look at Apple's charts a little bit later. Semis are also not having a good time. And I thought there was more meat in this article. It seems like a duplicate of the last one. But yeah, investors are at extreme greed levels. We already talked about that earlier, but today that's but yeah. Okay, sorry. Let's go to a more useful article. All right, let's talk more about debt. Here is a nice thing about the global debt circus. We had some good sobering numbers. All right, let's take a look at this. The interest payments on the debt is now increased by 177 billion or 33%. Medicare spending has increased by 126 billion or 18%. Medicaid spending is increased by 24 billion or 4%. Pension benefit guarantee corporation spending has increased by 38 billion. Wow, okay. FDIC expenditures have increased. Okay, great. Let's see. The average family of 4 is paying $14,000 yearly or $1,200 more per month to purchase the same goods and services compared to the day Sleepy Joe took office. Okay, I would confirm that as well. Okay, those are the key figures there. Let's go to the next article. Oh, here we go. Oh, actually, yeah. Okay. Okay, this is a little bit tiny. Let me zoom in. Here we go. It says public debt outstanding 34 million, but this is in millions, so this is actually trillions. And comparatively, when zerohedge.com launched in 2009, the US debt was 10.6 trillion. We sure have come a long way. So in context, US debt has increased 1 trillion in 3 months, 2 trillion in 6 months, 4 trillion in 2 years, and 11 trillion in the past 4 years. So your purchasing power is being eroded like a mofo. And that's why in terms of like currency circulation, 50s and hundreds are used in much higher amounts than before because the $100 bill is basically the new 20. Fundamentally, like, have you guys gone out to like eat like a meal? It's nuts. Like fast food alone is like $20 to $25 a head. It's insane. But yeah. Okay. What other data here? U.S. interest expense astronomically high, and this is another reason why rates cannot go up too much. Not only does it need to be soft softballs for Biden's election, but also we owe a lot of people a lot of money, and that never ends well. You can just ask like the Pope and the Templars about that. Yep. And here's a nice historical diagram. Let's see, U.S. debt to GDP. And yeah, wars are expensive, in case you didn't know that. And here we are right here. And we still have lots of unfunded liabilities, among other things, that are still on the books. So all kinds of fun stuff. Okay, looks very, very, very optimistic. Okay. Let's go to January stats and New Year's Eve resolutions for 2024. Okay, so Santa Claus rally might be slowing down, but we'll see. And then this goes back to our Stock Traders Almanac. So goes the first 5 days, so goes the month, so goes the month, so goes the year. That's nice and succinct. I like that. But yeah, more of the same data that we've seen before. Yeah, okay. Oh, sorry, here we go. Oh, sorry, there's something else. Okay, let's see. Where are we in the investor psychology cycle? I would estimate, if I mean, probably right here, denial. I mean, we're pacing the S&P perfectly, right? Like right here. So here we have the S&P running out of steam, and yeah, the chart matches the emoji or the sentiment. Okay. Let's see. Okay. This isn't quite what I thought it was. I was imagining a different article, but let's see. This is just confirming Stock Trader Almanac stuff for the most part. And we looked at our emojis here. So we're right here. A little shock here. Okay. Okay. Let's go to our next slightly bearish article. New Year's, blah, blah, blah. So yes, problems and chips in China. We'll talk about that more in our China section. Magnificent Seven having problems. We just talked about that a bit. Energy stocks with XLEs having problems, but I think long-term wise, there's a lot of potential here. We talked about bond yields already. Okay, more of the same. Okay, all right, let's go to our next article. Okay, for once, an optimistic article. It's always nice to be a critical thinker and see the other side. So here's reasons for optimism. Don't hold your breath, but let's go. Okay, interest rates are getting back to normal. Sure, consumers have purchasing power. Maybe at the gas station. Households are wealthy and liquid. Sure. Okay, demand for labor is strong. Not if the Teamsters don't have anything to do with it. The onshoring boom is boosting capital spending and promising to end the manufacturing recession. ISM data disproves this. Housing is set for recovery due to plunge in mortgage interest rates since early November. Nope. Corporate cash flows is a record high. I don't know about this. Inflation is turning out to be transitory. Eat shit, mofo. High-tech revolution is boosting productivity. Kinda. The rest of the world's challenges should remain contained. Yeah. The roaring 2020s will broaden the bull market, dodging a recession. Yeah, okay. Thanks, this guy and Jim Cramer too. So yeah, there's just some optimistic points, and yeah, we can laugh our way all to the bank. Okay, next article. Let's do a 2023 highlight. Okay, actually, this article is way too big. Okay, let's just look at this one image. This is probably the most important part. So here you can take a glance at the GFC from 06 to 08, 09. And WAMU was the sort of front row seat. And again, Warren Buffett saw this, and the Wachovia scandal, and what was it? Was it Country Lending or all these mofos? And then he would go on TV and say, "Oh, no, what? Don't worry about America. I'm sorry, don't worry about the banks. Just buy a piece of America and invest in the SPY," while he's selling out his stake underneath the table. It's totally BS. But compared to this crisis now, we have fewer players, but these are big amounts, and this risk has not exactly gone away. Let's pull up the regional bank ETF, which is KRE. Yeah, it's been recovering really nicely. I know a couple of us, not me, but a couple of us traded the recovery really well. I think Jonathan did that quite well. But then you turn around and bought Alibaba stock, which I don't understand. But yeah. And again, what's not pictured here? Credit Suisse, which would blow this bar graph up here. Let's look at the Credit Suisse fallout just to get the number. Credit Suisse. Let's look at Credit Suisse. Maybe the wiki article has a number. 1130. Come on, Warren, could go faster. Number. How much money did they lose? Collapse. 50 billion Swiss francs? What? Oh, they borrowed 50 billion. They were bought out for 3 billion. Wow, that's it? And then UBS fires half the workforce. Okay. Okay. So it got sold for peanuts. All right, let's fast forward. Getting to the bond market, and other currencies. Let's look at this. Kicking off with some crypto news. I am new to what this is, so I thought I'd bring this up. Bitcoin miner CleanSpark to launch in-house trading desk.
Wow.
Have you heard about this, Wani?
Yeah, I'm in it.
Okay. Lord Tethers isn't here with us. He's our chief crypto correspondent, but
Wow, they're doing their own trading desk. Okay.
yeah, interesting. Yeah. It's that liquid, or I mean, they're getting ready for demand and capacity skyrocketing, which is shrewd.
Yeah, when I got in just like a month or so ago, it was at about $3 when I got in.
Wow.
Yeah.
And a lot of crypto firms are the curve all looks like this because everyone's is like killing themselves trying to figure out what's happening on January the 10th. So
Yep.
like it's like 10% down for like Mara, Riot, and everybody else. It's
Yep.
ridiculous. But
Hey
yeah.
Warren, can you drop that link on CleanSpark for me? Thank you.
Yeah.
Isn't there some other newer cryptocurrency where they can't find any evidence that the CEO even exists?
Well,
Never
that
heard of
applies to Satoshi himself, right?
To BTC, yeah.
I mean, CZ kind of matches. I don't know, but I mean, CZ's having his own problems. Yeah. Okay. And
Wow.
let's see. It is the 15th anniversary of the Genesis block. So, this is a throwback to 2008. Wow. Let's see. Here's a timestamp and the node breakdown itself. Wow. Satoshi.
Wow.
Okay. We never figure out who Satoshi Nakamoto is. My Japanese isn't the best, but I'm told that this name literally means knowledge that is centralized. And I think like does this mean anything to you, Wani, in Japanese? Like Satoshi Nakamoto? Does it like intelligence is centralized? Does that make sense?
No, I don't even know.
Okay,
It has that meaning to it. It's just a regular name, Satoshi. It's just Nakamoto. It's just a very regular, common Japanese last name, like Wang, Wang, whatever.
Oh, okay.
So,
but yeah.
Clever, witty is Satoshi.
Who?
Clever, witty. Satoshi. Naka. No, this is Alan. Naka, medium inner relationship. Moto means yeah.
Oh, Moto, yeah.
Moto means origin.
Oh.
Each word has its meaning. Naka, Moto.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I mean, Japan being a vassal state of the US, kind of suspicious origins, but that's okay. But yeah, over 1 million Bitcoin blocks mined. Yeah. So yeah, 15-year anniversary.
To
Incredible.
priceless.
Yeah. Let's see. Alan has typed out Satoshi means clever, witty, or clever. Naka means medium in a relationship. Moto means origin or foundation.
Yeah,
now,
so this.
Yeah.
So this is a summary. Nakamoto. This is Nakamoto. Who's this?
Moto means origin or foundation.
I mean, if you squint, it could mean centralized intelligence agencies somewhat. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I just found it hard to believe that nobody knows who he is up to now.
It's not a good thing. I mean, it indicates some deception at some level to have the founder so mysterious. I don't know, complicated, but yeah.
NSA.
Yeah. But yeah, getting to domestic news. Here are resolutions from Americans.
Save more money.
Some obvious stuff here. Don't be fat and die from COVID. Eat healthier. Spend more time with friends. Lose weight. Spend less money.
Social media.
Stop looking at booty models on Instagram and fire your boss. You know, very meaningful goals. Okay.
How many people actually achieve their goals?
Yeah, fair points. We talked about Southwest with their body positivity movement. Basically, if your butt is big enough, you get a free seat for free, and they'll bump a paying customer off the flight just for you. That's utter BS, but it seems to be real. Let's look at. Oh, I have a nice screenshot of Southwest. So it's getting pulled down in the new year with all the other stocks, but it's been having some lack of investor buy-in for a while with this latest shenanigans, and now it's crossing into sell-off territory. And it's not just Southwest, but the entire Jet ETF is sharing this sort of unpopularity. So some capitulation and trading below the 200 and 500-day moving average here slowly. But yeah, so yeah, some questionable times ahead of Southwest. Okay, speaking of fat people, being fat is going to cost you more at Chick-fil-A, and you know, so much for transitory inflation. But yes, Chick-fil-A has increased their price 21% in just 2 years.
Wow.
And yeah, I've never had their chicken. I would like to have it. I've only had their waffle fries. But yeah.
It's pretty much a possible. Same thing with Jollibee and what you call Popeyes. Popeyes prices have gone up substantially as well. So it's across the board.
Yeah, prices of everything has gone up substantially.
Yeah.
Especially like eating out at a restaurant.
Yeah.
It's super expensive now.
And drugs will cost more. So yeah. Yay. Okay. But shout out to Mark Cuban for his startup on keeping prescription stuff cheaper. Yeah. Okay. Little controversial. I don't want to waste too much time here, but there's a actuarial term called excess deaths when you're looking at large batch data for death tables, and if you're basically looking at the distribution of deaths and if it's following the bell curve or not, and we obviously aren't, and reasons for this I'll leave it to your imagination. But we're seeing a lot of increase in excess deaths, and the count is pretty horrific. So yeah, not a great thing. Dr. John Campbell from the UK has a good YouTube video about it. I posted here, and here's an article about a more California-centric version of this. So, is this purely COVID or other things? I'll leave it to your imagination. But yeah, we're seeing a lot of more than normal amount of folks dying. And it's not isolated just to the obvious demographics, but it's across the board, and this will increase over time. So
it's international too.
It is international. It is local.
The data showed up international.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in the United States, we've been hiding the data for so long.
Right.
But the international data is really solid.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is a sensitive topic, but yeah, just stay vigilant and do your homework. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, so as an extension of that, mask mandates are coming back in LA of all places. So, yeah, so that's cooking.
Well, they're already here.
Yeah,
that's true up here in Oregon too.
Why are they mandating? Why?
Well, I don't know, but the one in Santa Clara is going to stop on March 31st.
Oh,
it was implemented from November to March. They did a 6-month window. I was just at El Camino Hospital, and looking at that same data. So,
Oh, okay, crazy. But yes, California is gonna give illegals free taxpayer-funded healthcare. Shit, I don't even have healthcare, but illegals do. Like, oh my
Exactly.
God.
How can we let that happen? I don't understand that.
I mean, $700 billion
just-
to the Ukraine, but we can't build a wall. We can't take care of our soldiers, and we have
Yeah,
homeless on our streets. Like I don't
Yeah.
understand. Like, it's okay.
Yeah, how can we let this
Uh,
happen? I don't understand that.
It's crazy. I have to pay
It-
2,100 a month. It's just insane.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
can't let this happen.
I
We
mean, this is
cannot.
after
Right.
taxes money too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
And
can't.
the VIX is under 14. Like, what is going on here?
Exactly.
Okay.
What
Yeah.
makes you angry,
Uh,
you know, when you think about it?
Yeah. And
Ah,
then San Francisco no end to woes, and talks a big game but can't deliver. Yeah, they said like we'll hire 4,800 tech workers from Twitter, but they only hired 16. Okay.
eh,
And then we talk about this in the highlight
Mm.
reel. There's a poop crisis. And since for Michael's benefit, we're going to look at the pictures. Portland poop crisis triggers bacteria outbreak normally found in the third world. Oh my God. What's it called? Shigella? Shigella bacteria. Shigella. Usually found in sub-Saharan Africa. Oh my God.
oh God.
It's not far behind. Shigella is the leading cause of bacteria diarrhea worldwide. Oh, this is dysentery. Oh, sweet Jesus. You're gonna shit your brains out. Oh my God. So yes, wash your hands in Portland. Let's see, what's the vector for spreading? The poop is getting into another person's mouth through food, water, objects, or surfaces with bacteria, or during sex. Oh, so this overlaps with the monkeypox group, which is mainly the gay folks. It's almost as if God has a message. Like, if gay sex kills you or requires heavy medicinal deterrents to not die, like the PrEP medicine, maybe your lifestyle is not natural. Okay, maybe, just maybe. Blame God. Okay, but yes.
No. I got a
out.
better interpretation. You ready?
Okay, go ahead, Rob.
Back when the first common cold came around, it killed half the tribes around.
Yes.
It's an evolution impetus.
Darwinism at work.
So it's self-selecting. So
this is not bad. It's not immoral. It's not evil. It's a good thing. It's kind of like smallpox was a net negative on humanity because it allowed weak people to live too long. And we stopped evolving. We should have evolved past the smallpox. So we don't need the vaccines.
Fair point. So artificial fitness by way of inoculation, is not quite survival of the fittest. It's an augmentation for sure.
I mean, if we look at just simply heights of people and the average heights and weights of men going into World War II service.
No, you're fair.
It was so bad back then, but now it's so good because nutrition is better. But maybe what we've been doing is escaping our evolutionary destiny. And so, it needs to come back and bite us a few times. That's fine.
Well, Rob, remember like in World War One, that's what basically kind of gave the English their fucked up teeth.
World War One is what gave it to them?
Yeah, because they wiped out a good percentage of their people with good DNA.
Oh yeah, all the aristocrats and noble classes were wiped out.
Oh, I see what you mean. I thought you meant good. What you really meant was attractive teeth.
The attractive and smart nobles got wiped out. Yeah, World War I, World War II. Yeah, in Europe. Yeah. If for the bio majors, it's K-selected mating theory versus R-selected. So, and then the warrior class tends to come from the K-selected folks, and they get wiped out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Back to poop. This is not good. So they're gonna basically process sewage and shave off some steps in the water treatment protocol and sell it to you guys. Not good. Long story short, just get a filter. Use a filter or beat a filter. And for water quality, you need a filter. Just like at point of use is the best way to do it. Like don't drag a 5-gallon water bottle to the water store and then truck it home. Like that's retarded. That's why gas stations, the water is more expensive than the gasoline. Like don't buy the water in a bottle. It's nuts. Just get a nice filter. I used to, yeah. I used to sell them. This is probably it's not a water filter. It's a water purifier. I used to have a large Amway business back in the day. If you guys need one, I'll just get it to you guys at cost. Like it's not a big deal.
Is that a good one? Is that a good one to use?
Yeah. Like this is what I have. So yeah.
How do you install it? Like it's just like a filter?
It's plug and play basically. It has reverse osmosis and a UV light but before it releases the water to kill amoebas and one-celled organisms. And
really? How much is it?
Yeah.
You have it?
I don't know what the wholesale. Yeah, just text me after this. Yeah, it's like whatever, 500-600 or whatever.
500 or 600.
Or a unit?
For it lasts like 2 years. So yeah.
I bought the full kit for about 130.
What is it?
That's a long time ago. I didn't have UV, but I've got 5 pounds of the reverse osmosis back end magic stuff.
I just use like a Brita filter. Is that good?
Brita is like Brita is for taste. They have a tiny amount of activated charcoal just to remove like the minerality taste, but it doesn't filter jack shit. Like and you can there's like water purity is measured by parts per million. You want like nothing in it, like literally zero excess items in it.
Actually, that can hurt your body. I mean, it'll demineralize your teeth. It's so
like don't drink distilled water exclusively. Like I mean, there's a best practice, but yeah. Okay, it's 7:48. We gotta fast forward. Okay, don't worry. We'll talk water quality a different time.
Some info too.
Yeah, no worries. Chicago's still killing a lot of people. No surprises there. Chicago's mayor's like, we'll pay them off. Like, no, you idiot. You're negotiating with assholes. Don't do that. Who's calling me? Sorry. Okay. Let's look at car sales in our meta analysis stuff here. Okay. We're selling cars. Let's see. The Dodge Ram truck, 784 days of supply. Dodge Hornet, lots. What is the Hornet? As a Mopar fan, I don't know what this is. What the hell is a Dodge Hornet?
I've never heard of it either.
Ew, it's ugly. It's like
it's like kind of cool.
Okay, no wonder it's.
I hated the cheap ones. Dodge Jeep cars are garbage.
Yeah. Okay, Dodge Charger. Okay, I understand. Challengers are more popular now.
Wow, Monkey. Whoa.
Number 5, yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, you see a lot of these in the Bay Area, but they're not really selling that well. I mean, who wants to pay 10% interest rates and multi-decade high car prices? It's ridiculous. Okay. Okay, let's keep
None of them
going.
drive fast on the freeway. That's the weird thing. The cooler the muscle car is, the slower they are on the freeway.
But they sound good.
No, I know they sound good. It's a joke, but
yeah.
I think it's funny. I mean, they're pull me over special.
All right, let's talk Starbucks and coffee. We've talked about it before. The number 1 most traded commodity on the planet is oil, and number 2 is coffee. And both are forms of cheap energy, which is critical for human survival. Humans can't operate without stimulants. Human nature. But anyway, where are all the Starbucks? Mostly the US, China, and Canada. Japan? South Korea? Wow. Okay, cool. Let's see. Most of their money is in beverages, food, and this other 4% is like gift cards, music, and miscellaneous dumb things. All right. And as a former Starbucks barista, I really liked my job there at the time, but I disliked it when Starbucks got really political. And yeah, sucks for all businesses to get that political. But yeah, good times. Okay. Oh, sorry. Starbucks stock. How's it doing?
Not too good.
Very, very choppy and sideways. Let's see. On balance volume in the 90-day window on the bottom left here. It has been crossed sell-off into sell-off territory after Thanksgiving and is now quite the dog. Okay. Let's see. How is the buying public? Pretty bearish. Earnest money in the low delta stuff. Wow. Okay. Oh, sorry. The Hail Mary stuff. Deltas are pretty spread out actually. But yeah, pretty bearish. Will this trend continue? Well, it's testing the 200-day moving average here, and if it keeps closing down below it, I would say it's going to have some serious problems. But yeah, so the sell-off will continue. You can't outfight gravity. All right, so that's coffee. Let's talk about hose. Hose for show. But yes, has feminism and hoflation destroyed the West? The concept of hoflation is women have inflated the barrier to entry while returning less to the investor. Okay, if that's diplomatically put, no surprises there. The joke is, guys today have to work 20 times harder than their grandfathers for women that are 5 times worse. Like, good luck finding a virgin to walk down the aisle with you. Like, she's in the jungle somewhere.
You want to find a nice grandma type person in Thailand. She'll have pieces and all that.
And her beautiful granddaughter will be missing all of her teeth.
I doubt that, but you want about a 30-year-old little Thai girl.
With a water buffalo. With a water buffalo.
No,
and working in the rice field, right?
You guys are taking it the wrong way. There's a big fat of people who will not marry an American girl. Like 5% of them are acceptable.
And the average American female is what? 5'3" and like 180 pounds. It's
180 pounds.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. We've looked at it before. Okay. Anyway, we got to fast forward. Student loan borrowers stage a massive student debt strike. Like, good luck with that. But yes, the overlap of hose and non-payers for their student loan debt is probably the same. And again, we should make this watch list. Double hose 7. Like all the women thinking they're secret agents. And life isn't was it Sex in the City? Like, that's for like kids and like gay men. Like, women can't live that lifestyle forever. It's a joke. But yes, here's Bumble stock, disaster. Easy short candidate. Match.com and Tinder, plan, not having a good time either. And then Chewy, dog food, cat food, also not having a good time. Yeah.
I have a question. Why is it that the dating stocks, the dating business are not doing good? Why they're not doing well?
Well, there's many reasons. Like, how do I put this succinctly?
I mean, I would think it's such a booming business. Like,
Wani.
Yeah.
Here's why.
I'm thinking about starting one. So.
No. Here's why. You may say to yourself, oh, I'm going to have 50-50 customer base, half men, half women. Well, that's not true. You have many more men than you have women. Well, let's just be kind and say it's a 70-30 split. You got 70% men and 30% women. Now, when those men figure out, when the majority of your customer base figures out it's a scam, they leave. You lose money. That's it.
Why is it a scam? Well, how is it a scam?
Think long and hard about that one.
Maybe their business model has to change.
Well, think of it this way, Wani. Dating is really an analog of prostitution. Dating is just prostitution with extra steps. Because you're not courting. When you're courting, the families are involved. It's almost like in a semi-arranged marriage. There's chaperones, like you're talking about marriage prospects. And the opposite of that is the deregulated sexual marketplace today. Like people have sex first and then they date each other. Oh, I actually like you, and this is facilitated by high drug use, alcohol, cocaine. Ketamine is really popular lately. Shrooms getting more popular. Weed is legal in like a third of the United States. It's it's horrific. And with the onset of Instagram in 2011 and Tinder in 2011, it's allowed women to select men beyond just their neighborhood. Like in the 80s and 90s, like this is before my time, going to the OGs that are on this call, like dating was very different, right? There was pagers, there was a way to do voice, like to leave voicemails. Phone tag was a real thing. All those problems have disappeared. And now if you want to be a hoe, it's very easy. You don't have to select just from your neighborhood. You can get flown out, you can import, you can get yourself exported to Dubai and have activities there. It's crazy. It's completely deregulated. And for the nice normal guy who's not that sexy, has a good job, has a good credit score, he's not attractive.
And that's why I'm saying the business models have to be changed.
Well, so the women also sort of have a split. You get the top 5% of women, and they're getting over half of the flirts.
Yeah. And the bell curve of distribution.
Expectations are really, really high.
Yeah. And women are.
I mean, what kind of people? What kind of people go to dating sites? The desperate people?
No,
I don't know. I just
no.
curious.
Think about it a second. How do people moderate their discussions, communications with other people? Today you're doing it via Zoom. 10 years ago, SVOG met in person only.
Right.
So how do they do it? What kind of people do that? Oh, the same people that 10 years ago used phones and pagers, which I just think is silly. How did I find my wife of 28 years? I met her in church in high school.
Right.
Well, what kind of people met their wife in church? The people that were in church. It wasn't anything special.
Right.
The people that use dating sites now are not bad or evil or special. They're simply using the technology that they have in their hands.
Right. I would not argue with that.
Yeah, no more than you and I are special or evil for using Zoom for having a conversation.
Right.
If you want a Mennonite woman, go join a Mennonite church. It's not that difficult of a calculus.
So yeah, we're running out of time, but yeah, there's problems here, and we've talked about it to death. But yeah, Wani, ask your boys. Like their dating life is a minefield. It's not easy. So yeah, no worries.
Won't tell me anything, so I would know.
They won't tell Mom. Oh, I'm sorry. Ask Scott and his kids and your other coffee buddies, like how their kids' dating life is going. You're gonna hear an earful. It is a shit show out there.
Wow.
Okay, no worries. Let's talk about real estate. Okay. So let's look at the home construction ETF first, which is ITB. I'll probably have to go overtime. So if Kurt and other folks have to leave, I will say goodbye in advance and wish you all a most happy New Year's.
Oh, thanks. I'm gonna hang on. I have two computers, so I'll join the other one. I'll monitor both. Yeah, but thanks for the
You have to juggle.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, yeah, here's the ETF here. There's some inflows here coming in, so that's why the price is being still pulled up. But looks like every sector is having that New Year's drop off. It's like everything we've looked at is suffering this way. So not a great start to the year. But yeah, let's go back to our articles. So now that we know how home buyers are handling this, The average US household can only afford the 16% of listed homes. Definitely with institutions buying up stuff and rich Chinese folks fleeing and throwing cash in every direction, this will also complicate things. So affordability is dropping like a rock. And let's see, historically, it's been a lot better. So gosh, 50% in 2013. Yeah.
US needs to make a decision if they're gonna help people or they're gonna just let it run free and out of control. I mean, there's a bill that wants all of the big corporations, the hedge funds, to divest in less than 10 years. I like the idea, but I hate
how much inventory do they hold?
You know, that's
and they hold a quarter of the inventory.
Right.
Like even divesting on a 10-year time schedule is a massive move by elephants. That's hard to predict what the fallout will be.
Yeah, and I would make it even less than 10. I think it's really screwed up. But people who have a lot of property, you know, would be hurt by it. Yeah. But they all refinanced it at 1.25% anyway, so it's not like they've got, you know, it's not like they're going to be choked to death.
My golfing instructor just bought a condo, and like she doesn't understand or care about how numbers and amortization works, but I'm just panicking for her. Like I'm running numbers in my head, like, oh my God. And there's HOA and it's in Willow Glen. It's like, oh my God, why did you buy at the peak? But anyway, yeah. What's this? SF article. Oh, just more anecdotes. I will skip this. Yeah. Let's look at CRE data. This is a little bit better. Okay, commercial. Actually, before we get there, let's take a look at the real estate investment trusts. And we have a handy dandy default public watch list in Thinkorswim right here, REITs. Let's see, the sector leader here is not what we want. AMT is for 5G towers, a little bit different. We want to look at like regional players like AVB, SX here. Okay, let's take a look at these folks. So here's Avalon Bay. They do a lot of like luxury apartment homes. They're big in the Bay Area and SoCal. They're doing okay. SX is more Bay Area centric. Was my former employer once upon a time. Doing fairly well. Okay, so I guess REITs are doing well, and this goes back to sector rotation where we saw real estate is improving. So right here, XLRE. And let's actually take a look at the holdings really quick and see if this has changed. We haven't looked at this in recently. So who are in here? Okay. Very similar to the players we just looked at. This gets into like big server farms and whatnot. So quite the eclectic mix. So this is like strip malls, public storage, cell phone towers, you know, corporate office space. It's all over the place. So, but the sector is doing well. But yeah, I guess it's a little complicated in trying to make an easy trade. But yeah, okay, let's go through the article. Who has the highest mortgage debt? Now that we know how the sector's doing, we see Manhattan having problems, and this is multitudes worse than San Francisco. So yay for Manhattan with their billionaires row and all those shenanigans. Okay, someplace worse than San Francisco is just awesome to see. Okay, what else are we seeing? US cities with the most loans up for refinancing this year. Oh my gosh. Here we go. Interest rate resets. This is fun. Manhattan, Houston, oh shit, LA, San Francisco, Sunnyvale, Chicago, Southfield, Michigan, Dallas, Texas, Austin, Texas, and DC. Incredible. And this is just commercial mortgage loan. We're not talking residential yet. Okay, so very optimistic for New York. And this Texas thing is surprising because the Dallas-Fort Worth Metro is traditionally doing really well. But I guess a lot of folks, I guess, did ARM financing just out of necessity at some level. Okay, dumb mistakes. Let's look at 20 of the most popular neighborhoods for potential U.S. homebuyers. Where are these places? All right. Northeast Dallas, Hollywood Hills, Camelback East and Phoenix, La Jolla, San Diego, Upper East Side, New York, North Mountain, Phoenix, Summerlin, North Las Vegas. Wasn't Flav, this is your target, right? Well, potentially. Elkhorn, Omaha, Lakeview, Chicago, Deer Valley, Phoenix, Northwest El Paso, Texas, Preston Hollow, Dallas, Centennial Hills, Vegas, Upper West Side, New York, Far North Dallas, Chevy Chase Ashland Park in Lexington, Brick Hole in Miami, Encino in LA, Princess Anne in Virginia Beach, and Woodland Hills in Los Angeles. Interesting. Okay. I do know a couple folks in these neighborhoods, so this does confirm anecdotally with my life. Okay, that's kind of cool. Oh, and a quick mention. If you guys remember the great financial crash of 06 to 08, the 4 regions that did really well after this were California, Vegas, Tennessee, and Florida, and Texas. I guess Nashville's kind of like an honorable mention. But yeah, mainly it was California, Vegas, Florida, and Texas. And then the mid-coastal East Coast states were also doing well a little bit later. Okay, a little over time. Let's keep going. We're finally into our tech portion of the program. Let's look at Tesla sales by model and make. So yes, the last 5 years, Tesla stock has gone up 800%. Holy cow. But sales have only gone up 30x. Okay, let's see. Model Y is really popular. Model 3 as well. Model X, not so much anymore. Model S as well.
So how does all this correlate with the recalls?
Yes. Which one? Which recall? Which region of the world? It's hard to keep track.
There've been so many.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool little thing. Let's pull up Tesla's charts.
Suspension, you can fix that with software over the air. I've been saying this for 2 years, and it's finally getting airtime. Suspension stuff.
I mean, Tesla insurance alone is complicated enough. Then that's before the accident. After the accident, oh my God, good luck. And yeah, it looks like folks are buying Tesla stock quite readily since November. So, but it's gone definitely sideways, trading barely above the 200 and 500-day moving average, and definitely seeing like resistance at 300. Okay, we have earnings coming up soonish, huh? Oh, 20 days, 20 calendar days. All right, very exciting. And my battery is running out. Okay. Okay. We have more Tesla articles. Okay, let's skip this. Okay, cool. Let's look at how the EV market's going to deal with the reduced tax credit. Bidenomics galore. Let's see. Eligible models for full or partial credit include Tesla Models Y, Rivian's R1T, Stellantis' Jeep Wrangler, 4xe, Ford Lightning, and what doesn't have it is a Cybertruck, certain Model 3s, the Nissan Leaf, Ford E's Transit Van, and GM's Blazer and Silverado. Wow, okay. Has anyone seen a Cybertruck yet? I think one of us has.
Yeah,
I haven't seen one in the wild.
I've seen it quite a few around
here. Is it huge?
It is. It's really wide. It's really long. Pretty thick.
And who's in the driver's seat? What do they look like?
Actually, the one I saw was parked on the side of the road. Yeah, so I didn't see the driver. And another one that I saw, the driver made a right turn away from me, so I didn't see who was driving.
Okay, that's cool.
So not enough good data yet.
It looks like the kind of vehicle that I would expect to see at an open pit strip mine.
Exactly. This is kind of wordy. We'll skip it. Just AI was a little bit overhyped for 2023. No surprise there. Okay. Our deep vis lithography machines are having some problems with exports. We haven't looked at ASML stock in a while. What's their ticker? Is it also ASML? Oh, perfect. Okay, let's take a look. ASML. Okay, we're seeing a gap down. Why? Kind of explosive gap down. 2 gaps. Ouch. Ooh. Okay. We're seeing good inflows though, but current bad news and New Year's woes have not been great. What's the buying sentiment of the public? Kind of bearish. Okay, cool. A little aggressively bearish, actually. Okay. Weirdo here, Mr. Fox. Okay. Revocation of export license impacts a limited number of Chinese customers, which analyst notes could include SMIC. And yeah, well, no shit, guys. Okay. All right. We don't have time to dive too deep, but yeah, obviously this is not good for China. Apple tumbles on Barclays downgrade, and there's another downgrade as well from another analyst. We're running out of time, so let's just go to the charts and confirm the damage. All right, so the market's so Apple's down 1%, and how is ES? Let's see. Where's my ES window? Wait, my oh, it's gone. Okay, that's okay. Apple. It is. There's still some inflows, but slowing down a lot. It might be at the 0 line, maybe in like another week or two. And yeah, we're about to touch the 200-day moving average here, actually. And we have a definite like price ceiling at 200. So that psychological barrier is still in play. And look at these dojis. Wow. We're flying towards the 200-day. Okay. And we got earnings coming up 2-1. So another 3 weeks. Okay. Lots of folks are having streaming overkill. No surprises there. Let's go to Netflix, which is going to have some serious content problems going forward with Hollywood on strike. But you wouldn't be able to tell that from the charts here. Let's see. We got earnings also in 3 weeks, and it's trading nicely above its 2 moving averages. But is this sort of a hard top? Maybe. We'll have to take a look. But for now, there's still strong inflows at the moment. Okay. Elon's launching a satellite cell phone tower, so this will expand operations for Starlink and beyond. Pretty cool. Let's talk about the labor market. Job claims confirm optimistic news. I mean, this is just short-term data, but there's receding recessional risk. Yeah, next week we're gonna have more bearish news for sure. But let's go to the next article. Manufacturing jobs decline. No surprises there. We saw the ISM data earlier in our news articles that correlates with this. We kind of hinted about this earlier. VA groups are furious that illegal immigrants are getting healthcare at VA facilities, which is nuts. What else? Probes in New Jersey now with bust migrants, but they're giving the Chinese illegals a free pass. And from last week's data, we saw that at least 60,000 mainlanders have crossed over the southern border, which is an invasion fleet. Okay. International news, lots of shenanigans. A South Korean politician was stabbed in the neck. My friends and I had some theories that this might have been a faked one, but no, you do not play with your jugular artery like that. We talked about this earlier. The Red Sea is halted thanks to Houthi attacks and Iran backing. So yeah, but yeah, I've always been concerned about the Shia and Sunni conflicts in general. Kind of because of my training. So this was my first professor in college. I thought this would be kind of cool to show you guys. He's a Catholic professor, but he specializes in different sects of Islam, especially the Shia stuff, actually. And I took all of his classes except, let me think, this Egyptian one, and this is kind of new. So, but everything else I've done. And this guy brought his dog to the office, which I loved. And I didn't know until later, but he never talked about in class, but he was also a vegetarian. And during his class, I went vegetarian. So kind of cool. But yeah, this was a cool book that my professor wrote. Whoops, what the hell is this? Oh, archive.org, busy. Server's overloaded. Okay. But anyway, he writes a bunch of books on Islam and whatnot. So with the current shenanigans in Yemen and whatnot, I'm quite concerned. Okay. And now let's pivot to one of the neighbors in the Middle East of Lebanon. So Germany and Sweden has issued an evacuation order for all of their nationals in Lebanon. And looks like Hamas and Iran are going to move the theater of war into this area as well. And then what's next? Jordan, Georgia, the Black Sea. Oh, like holy shit. Okay. Okay, and this is kind of important. I think Alan and Jonathan and I have talked about this maybe years ago. But yes, the civilian air fleet has been activated. If you don't know what this is an auxiliary arm of the U.S. Air Force. It's mainly on logistics and cargo ships to help move things around and personnel, but it has been activated. And historically, it's been used before. So this is a throwback to 2003 with MOFO Secretary of Defense Donald Rumsfeld, who suspiciously said lots of money was disappearing on November 10th of 2001. So same cycle here, but yes, this shows you just that the Civil Reserve Air Fleet was used to transport troops and operated by commercial aircraft, blah, 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 blah. So the same thing's happening again now. And the fleet has been expanding and it's being deployed. Its other facets are being deployed internationally. So this is not a good thing. We are getting armed for war in a big way. And originally, the reason I think we were discussing this was like, this is a good way to dodge the draft because you enroll in the civilian air fleet. So you're kind of already an armed combatant in a way. Okay. I'll have to look into that maybe if
you did put women in the draft. It would change all of
we
this.
did really yes. No, I mean,
select the service because they have no risk. So they're always going to be on the wrong side of things. you put them in harm's way and everything's going to change.
And they'll just get pregnant.
Well, this is yeah, and they're all for abortion. So you know what? You unpregnant them.
Yeah.
You turn off
we can't
for the rest of their lives if they pull that shit.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Yes. But yes, we talked about this earlier. The Ford carrier fleet is returning to Norfolk. To Kurt's point, they've overstayed their deployment by 2 months. And these ships can run for like a decade or two off their nuclear supplies, but it's the personnel and they need to restock and get food and stuff. But I heard carrier food is the best food in all of the armed services. It rivals that of like submarines. So yeah, would like to try that at some point, but probably will never get the chance to do that. But yes, Putin is confirming the existential threat in Ukraine and will never back down. I mean, he's doing what's best for Russia, and I don't know if I would do any different.
They were blowing up Russian speakers for 8 years.
Yeah, and
I mean this is a big mess. We created half of that.
True, and fucking NATO and it's just been saber rattling to no end.
In harm's way too.
Yeah, sorry, the West broke the Minsk agreement, so we kind of deserve our
we crossed all the red lines too.
Yeah. Israel is committing more to fighting all through 2024. No surprises there. a lot of shenanigans with the logistics of this. Like they extended it by 1 day. And from a logistics point of view, you cannot move that much electronic equipment so fast. And they moved the site and everything. Like this was an engineered false flag activity, and they sacrificed the youth for this one. It is so
You're
extremely
saying
dirty.
IDF did? Israel.
Yeah. Israel killed their own citizens or allowed Hamas to come in. They opened up the front door like January 6th. They invited them to come in. Okay.
Well, I was wondering about that. I'll shut up.
No worries. Biden admin has claimed responsibility for the latest Iranian strike. Wonderful. We talked about the Red Sea to death already. Operation, what was it, Sovereign, whatever the code phrase is not performing very well. Okay, we gotta fast forward. Okay, getting into oil commodity news. The SPR finally got an addition. So let's take a look at how much we got. This is the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, which is the U.S. savings account for our oil savings. And the average cost basis for what was there was $29 a barrel, and now we have to pay about 72. Hell, let's just go to the SPR directly. SPR, okay. I believe the count was 340 million barrels, if I'm remembering this correctly. What is the count now? I'm clearly on the wrong page of this website. Okay. Okay, I remembered it correctly. 340, so we went up 13 million barrels then. Okay, cool. Wait, past sales. No, past exchanges. Okay, whatever. It's gone up a small tedious amount. Okay, that's cool. Let's fast forward. Cartels fighting with the Mexican military totally reminds me of Breaking Bad with Gus engineering things. He did it so that the cartel couldn't sell cocaine, and he would fill the vacuum by selling meth. His meth from Walter White. Cool. India is not flipping gas as quickly for Russians at the moment. No surprises there. Let's see. Libya's oil field is shut down by protesters. Fantastic. Diamond prices are collapsing. And as a gold guy, we've always known that diamonds are a joke. They're not rare. There's controlled supply, and being a marketing guy
is about like you need to spend how many paychecks for
resale value. Ridiculous. And a lot of things adjacent to the wedding industry have collapsed. David's Bridal, wedding venues, wedding engagements, wedding DJs, of course, and diamonds are also a casualty of all of this. So are there diamond stocks? Let's see.
Hey, Warren, is that because people are not getting married? Young people today?
Well, it's part of our dating conversation, right? Like men know that divorce is horrific. And no matter what changes on the surface, like never mind Tinder, never mind Instagram and dating apps, the divorce law has never changed. If anything, it's gotten worse over the years. And thanks to social media and YouTube and whatnot, guys are talking about their divorce stories and dating horror stories. So if you don't like, false claims of, can I say it? SA? Or divorce or parental alienation or kidnapping and single moms trafficking children, like it's just such a shit show. Like why get married?
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't even matter if the guy like if he's not at fault. Like if the wife cheated and she wants to divorce, she still gets the same amount of money. and they get the kids. Yeah. Okay. Here's some diamond stocks. I don't recognize most of these folks. I'll put this as I'll leave this tab open. I'll do some research. Okay, precious metals. Gold prices had a brief high of 2,300. It did not hold there, but That's all good. And just to recap really quickly, premiums on metals have skyrocketed in response to all the geopolitical tension. Gold's about 5 or 6%. Silver has skyrocketed to about 18, 17%, which is almost a doubling. So silver's gone quite expensive. It's not that the spot price has decreased; it's actually stayed flat. But inventory at the dealer level has decreased a lot. So premiums have gone up in response. Okay, finally, China news. Okay, I don't even know where to start. We'll just read some of these headlines. There's a ecological disaster in China, among also like a freezing snowstorm. There's martial law in specific regions already being implemented. There's student riots. Trust companies and their related ecosystem partners are imploding. There's a lot of gossip around Xi Jinping as well, being not in right mind and body. There's definitely some type of outbreak in China. Even I don't really trust it, but something's happening and people are dying and they're trying to hide the body count. China has how many black swans? Enough for a full circus, I'm sure. This is something else. There's definitely liquidity problems at the Main Street level. All sectors are seeing fewer orders. No question there. Real estate land sales are the main source of income at the local level. And without it, everything falls apart in a Ponzi scheme or a house of cards. What else? Realistically, China can't invade Taiwan because of the ocean tide currents. And the Mongolians sent 3 fleets to Japan and they screwed it up.
Never paid attention to the currents. And if Beijing makes the same mistake, then so be it. And the correct times to invade based on occurrence is March or October. That's it. That's it. The Taiwan Strait is an extremely complicated waterway. And those are the only 2 times you can land an amphibious assault force. That's it. And what else? China can't really wage war with anybody, honestly. They can't even fight India. And the Filipino fishing army can like do, or the Filipino fishing fleets can do more than the People's Navy. Yeah, it's just hilarious. What else? There's some more infighting against the police. Unconstitutional seizures. Oh my gosh, like here's a recall, as Michael mentioned, due to bed bugs. Let's take a look at this. As a former property manager, bed bugs are terrifying to me. And I have found them once at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas and got comped the room or like a new room, but it's terrifying to lift up the mattress near the headboard and see bed bugs. Like, oh my God. And if you don't look for bed bugs, you should learn how to do it. Okay. Let's see, bed bugs. These were en route to Australia. This is crazy. This means that the Shanghai factory has a bed bug infestation. Or the transport ship, like one of the two. Okay. Horrific. Okay.
How do you look for bed bugs at a hotel bedroom?
You look for blood, you look for like egg casings, or you can also look for like bed bug poop. They're like little black dots. I do it, at every spot I sleep in. You just lift it up and look for it. It's kind of obvious.
So, the Three Gorges Dam had 80 cracks. It was public. It was put on Nettie's.
That we know about. Correct. 80, and then all Taiwan has to do is to float any explosive device downriver towards the dam, and that's game over. Like, one of the biggest protester or one of the biggest reasons to not build the Three Gorge Dam was for national security risk, because you're creating a huge weapon. And
it floods like a third of the farmland in China or more.
right. And
I mean,
downstream,
it just wipes it out.
correct. And downstream of the Three Gorges Dam is Wuhan, which is like the Chicago of China. It's right in the middle, and it moves a lot of it. It legitimately like functions like Chicago. It's moves a lot of commodities. It's a transport hub. And downstream of Wuhan is Shanghai, which is the technological and economic hub. So it can wipe out half of. I'd say if the Three Gorges Dam gets destroyed, 60% of China's economic base disappears overnight.
Yeah.
The only place left standing is the Pearl River Delta and some of Beijing, and that's a nightmare. Okay, so lots of bad things here and optimistic headlines, obviously. Okay, so let's get to the Taiwan election. Hopefully Alan is getting ready his Canadian bacon rant in just a second. But yes, Taiwan's election is on the 13th. There's there were three parties in contention. Now it's only two. It's the DPP and the Kuomintang. And the DDP have been in power the last two terms, and they're called the Green Party. And then the KMT are the Blues. And then there was the Foxconn guy representing another party, which was splitting the pro-China vote. So he had to drop out because his bosses told him to STFU in a corner.
So which one is pro-China?
The KMT, the Blues.
Oh, well, that sucks.
Yeah. And they're gaining a lot of traction, and I'll show you why. But yeah, we'll see. So Beijing's floating balloons over Taiwan just as a signal, like the Eye of Sauron, like, okay. And then what else? This is an interesting anecdote. A Taiwanese businessman in China was reaching out to his fellow business partners to donate to the KMT, which is pro-China. And Beijing's saying, if you want to do business, you kind of need a receipt to show that you have skin in the game. I'm not surprised at this at all. And then Beijing has stooped to no end to discredit the pro-Taiwanese folks. They're making fake porn with AI technology. And how is this possible, you might ask? It's actually very easy. Here, I'll show you an actual purveyor of such services. This is a friend startup. Let me see if Min's not here anymore. But I know the CFO for this company. He's a dirty mofo. And he's currently in Vietnam right now pitching this to the Vietnamese government. Literally right now. And the current South Korean president is a client. Now, imply with that what you will. And to me, this just is an opportunity to create instant blackmail material. Just the mere threat of it is good enough.
Yeah.
Because people are dumb, and TikTok and social media is not exactly a high resolution product to begin with. So you can make fake AI stuff all the time. So yes, this will really complicate like Me Too cases and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, like AI porn at your political enemies. Like, oh my God, you don't even need the Epstein list. You just make a generally bad fake video and it's game over. Okay. So yeah. Okay, and if Alan's ready, this is a throwback to shenanigans with Taiwanese pineapples from 2021. And if Alan, if you want to educate our trading members here on the origin of Hawaiian pizza and why it's really dumb.
Oh, you guys are too funny. Well, Hawaiian pizza was never ever made in Hawaii. It was actually created by a Greek, a Canadian Greek. That's why you see basically it's Canadian bacon with pineapple for Hawaiian pizza, and he couldn't come up with a way to associate pineapple, so he basically came up with the first thing that came up in his head: Hawaiian. Hawaiian pizza was the name of it. So ever since then, everybody has been associating pineapple with everything in Hawaii. It drives me nuts. It freaking pisses me the F off Thank you, Mr. Dole.
Yep. Sam Papanopoulos. In Ontario. In Ontario. This is like the redneck state of Canada.
Alan, doesn't Hawaii grow a lot of pineapples too, right?
Yeah, but that was thanks to the Dole family on Lanai and things like that. But now basically it's owned by Uncle Larry of Oracle.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But yeah, it drives me nuts because even when I was working at Silicon Graphics, oh, so what's for lunch today? Oh, it's a teriyaki burger with a grilled pineapple. It's a Maui burger. It's like, what the F? It's just because you slap a pineapple on there, you call it something Hawaii related. Nah, that's bullshit.
Do they have Hawaii pineapple fried rice yet?
There's Thai pineapple.
The Thai, yeah, I know. I'm kidding you.
Yeah, but there's a couple of places, people that's trying to jump on the tourism thing.
Yeah.
There's a couple of places trying to make that association.
Yeah.
But any local, including Alan Wong of Alan Wong's restaurant, they broke down that the whole mythology of Hawaiian pineapple. I mean Hawaiian pizza.
But yes, please do support our fellow patriots in Taiwan with Taiwanese pineapples.
But they probably all come from Thailand, right? In Taiwan.
Okay, world production. We gotta find out. We gotta figure this out.
Thailand has a lot of pineapples.
Yeah.
The Philippines. Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Philippines, number 1.
Brazil.
Costa Rica. What?
Whoa.
You have to be on the equator.
Nigeria.
Yeah. How? I would think like more tropical countries like Hawaii, the Philippines, Thailand, Indonesia.
Bangladeshi pineapples.
Wow.
Well, Mexico.
Wow, Hawaii's not even on the list anymore.
Where's Hawaii? Hawaii. Oh, US. I guess it's Hawaii.
27.
I mean, it's US. That's number 27.
27.
So clearly, number 27, like it shouldn't be called Hawaiian pizza, obviously. It should be called Filipino pizza or something. But
well, you look at it, China's not even that far away from the top.
Number 5, that's ridiculous.
Well, you look at numbers too.
Yeah.
2.2
Wow.
versus 2.7.
I'm surprised it's the Philippines.
But we should ask ChatGPT to redo this table from a per capita basis. Yeah. But to be fair, like as a member of Team Pineapple, the acid and the acid from the pineapple does open up more umami flavor. So I don't know why people hate on pineapple, to be fair.
Pineapple is good for you.
Yeah.
Well, if you have enough of it, the acidity is high enough to wear your teeth too.
Yeah, your enamel. Yeah, like don't do that. But if if it's date night, drink some pineapple juice.
It's got bromine. It's good for digestion.
Yeah. And then speaking of a pineapple producer, a Chinese spy ship got denied port entry to Sri Lanka.
Wow.
That's hilarious. And then China's starting the same old shit with everybody else on coal production. It's just hilarious. Like they first did it with Australia, and now they're doing it with other people. Like China is just that crazy psycho ex-girlfriend that just won't be normal. It's hilarious. And then here's the Tesla update. I promised you guys. BYD has surpassed Tesla finally in electric vehicle deliveries, and a lot of this is going to Europe. BYD is really cheap, and Charlie Munger, who is now in hell, was a big early investor in BYD. So really dirty. And BYD is not having good. There's non-existent quality control. So this is short-lived, and this is only going to spread more bad will across all of its customer base in Europe and whatnot. But yeah.
Hey, Lauren.
Yes, sir.
Is BYD using coercion funding to get their sales numbers up like Tesla?
Mm.
Can you clarify coercion funding?
Some people like to call it a tax rebate, but we know what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, so BYD is subsidized hugely because it's a state-owned enterprise.
Oh, so it's coercion funded on the profit and loss side, and it's also coercion funded on the sales side?
Yes, and it's also intimate. So BYD is built off stolen Tesla IP.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know,
not even a little bit.
You know, some people tell me McDonald's is bad, but I've never had a Scottish clown stand over my bed in the middle of the night with a baseball bat and say, "Eat my burgers."
That is true. That is true. That's true.
But I have had a nice South African man bring his sheriff to my bed and say, "Pay for Tesla cars for someone else."
And we talk about infrastructure fees that are tied to gasoline and ICE owners, but not for electric. Yeah, it's crazy.
They don't actually drive on the ground, you see. They float.
They float, yeah. Okay. No, fair points, fair points. And then to close out our Chinese news here, for 2023 overall, China was the worst performing asset class. So Warren was right like a mofo. And everyone who went long on China, like, I just don't understand. Like I have friends that bought Alibaba stock, and I like the first words out of my mouth were why? And they're still holding. Like, I don't know what to say to these guys. But yes, China's problems are horrific, and there's no end in there's no end in sight to rate cuts from Beijing, blah blah blah. Like, this problem is not fixable. It's game over. Like, all the big whales have left. It's a desert of business. Like, people don't trust you. They don't give a shit. Okay. But yes, there was some of a recovery, but it's going nowhere. Nowhere. Chinese equities holding hopes for a turnaround. Like this doesn't go anywhere, guys. Come on.
So I better sell my NEO shares then, right?
Yes, especially since it's at a high point. You should do that while Warren.
At least I got him at a high point. So
yeah. A relative high point, right?
Yeah.
You're basically selling at the October high, relatively speaking. I mean, look how low it is. It's below.
I know, it's terrible.
Moving average, and it's closing below the 200-day. Like, it's in trouble. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's look at the other Chinese stocks. So here's FXI, the big dog, right? The large cap. And look. The year, disaster. Started, peaked at the year at 33. It's 23 right now. And we're only beginning to just see this implosion. And let's go to CWeb, more internet-centric. Very similar price action. Let's go to KWeb. We get a little more leverage. Very similar price action. Let's look at Alibaba. It's rip your face off right here. But to be fair, Pinduoduo is doing really well because of Temu. And why is Temu doing well? Because U.S. taxpayers, to Rob's point, subsidizes the shipping costs here like crazy. And Temu is state subsidized as well, blah, 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 blah. So this is the only bullish item in the Panda stock watch list. And here's Billy, which is BILI. Okay. Billy is having some serious problems because China's implementing massive crackdowns on online gaming time. And this affects Blizzard's mini products there, like World of Warcraft and whatnot, and League of Legends, and a bunch of Chinese-centric players that are on the Billy platform. So yeah, China doesn't want its citizens or its youth to play video games. But there's nothing else to do with student unemployment at 60, 70%. So yeah. Okay, let's keep going. I think that's it, right? Okay, finally got to the bottom of it. All right, we are over time by 45 minutes. We don't quite have time to draft up a trade of the month, but you can use your imagination and pick any of the bearish cases we went over today. And with that, let me stop the recording And oops, push wrong button.